It's the it's the 2nd of January 2022, and this story talk of betrayal and talk of having the power or exercising the power as the manager of the team. This is what we're really going to tackle most into this story of Lukaku omitted out of Chelsea squad to play Liverpool this evening in there. Welcome to you, Rokani Football Podcast. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? This is our channel that brings you 100% football news from all over the world. Even AFCON, we are broadcasting stories about AFCON in there for you. And there is a funny one coming in from Nigeria that I'm really soon going to upload onto this channel that really is really going to entice you and we're really going to enjoy it. That's the reason as to why, if at all you've not yet subscribed to our channel, you are missing out on a lot. You have to come out and subscribe to our channel and then later go ahead and hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified each and every time we upload a video. Now, good afternoon, and it's not good afternoon too in the camp of Chelsea. Things have really fallen apart. Remember, their most expensive signing, who was brought in at Chelsea this summer, who goes by names of Romelu Lukaku, close to 115 million euros in there. That is like 97 million pounds in there for you. It's the record signing for a Chelsea team in there for you. It's Lukaku in there from Inter Milan coming in out and doing an interview with Sky Italy saying that he's not happy at Chelsea. He's not happy with the manager and he looks like he has fallen out in there for you. And guess what? Thomas Tuchel came out and really replied, a man who goes by the names of Lukaku in there. And all after that, we now know what is really happening in the Chelsea camp. All is not good for Lukaku. Lukaku has been thrown under the bus. He has been thrown under the bus. Remember, the same situation has been happening at a team which goes by the names of Arsenal, where Aubameyang was also thrown under the bus by the manager who goes by the names of Mikel Arteta after they fell out in there. And this happens after Lukaku comes out, returns into very good form, scoring against a side which goes by the names of Aston Villa, and I think there is another side that they really scored against, which goes that side that they drew with over the weekend. Let me see the fixture in here of Chelsea, and I'm really going to name you that side in there because I really want to be exact in there. Yeah, Brighton, it was Lukaku that gave Chelsea a lead, and then later the Manchester United ex-player who goes by the names of Dan Welbeck equalized in there. So it shows you how much Lukaku came back. 2 games, 2 goals, scoring for fun in there. But all in all, Sky Italy comes out and releases an interview that Lukaku did, I think sometime back. That's what the news is saying. But it has really brought big impact onto this. Now, this was first brought out by Fabrizio Romano that Thomas Tuchel is considering leaving Lukaku out versus Liverpool in there. And Jakob Steinberg and Matlo DP reported that tonight in their final decision will be made and confirmed tomorrow in there. Tuchel has face-to-face conversation with Lukaku about his interview and sentences in there. Now, this is what they call bringing sanity in the club and showing that you're really the manager of the club. This is what Thomas Tuchel is doing. He's exercising his full powers at the club. Lukaku coming out and letting that out, that shows you that there are leaks in between Lukaku and Thomas Tuchel. And to me, I will feel for Lukaku because Lukaku came in when had scored close to 30 goals plus a season from the Italian Serie A, and he is not being played, or the system does not favor him. Trust me, the system does not favor Lukaku at Chelsea because it's so much reliant onto the midfield. You get? That's why you see the likes of Reece James are benefiting a lot. Marcus Alonso, Ben Chilwell, although he's out for a full season. You get? Kai Havertz, Mason Mount. They are benefiting a lot from this system in the Pulisic in there. But people like Lukaku, the centre forwards, this system does not favor them at all. And Lukaku has been suffering to score goals in there for you. When you look at the number of goals Lukaku has scored for Chelsea, let me bring them out to you because it really looks like this is when you're really going to know that this system is suffocating Lukaku in there. Lukaku has played 13 Premier League games, has played 13 Premier League games and scored 5 goals, 4 Champions League games and scored 2. So in the last 17 games, in the last 18 games, Lukaku has scored only 7 goals. That is really too low for Lukaku in there. However much has played 13 and scored 5. That is too low. In the pre-Champions League, he would have been scoring more in there, but the system does not favor Lukaku. And if I'm to remember, he came in here when he was in splendid form, and everyone knew that Chelsea are really going to be competing for the trophy in there. But all in all, I really want to let you know that it's not something that is really set to happen at Chelsea, and it's really going bad for Lukaku and Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel exercising his powers. He's telling him, you've been away and we've been winning. So your return and going to the news and saying that you're unhappy at Chelsea and you're not happy with how you're being played at Chelsea really has made Lukaku to be thrown under the bus in there. But I really like players like Lukaku being outspoken. Yeah, because we look at Lukaku, he's 28 years old. Yeah. How old is Lukaku right now? He's 28 years old. Now, at the age of 28, with the experience you've got from playing at Manchester United, Inter Milan, West Brom, Everton, and the team where Chelsea bought him from France in there, and playing alongside people like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who really came out and groomed him and told him that, oh yeah, you are supposed to be an outspoken player. Don't be allowed to be squeezed in there. Come out and say it out loud, because it's really ashamed for a player who was one of the players that we are competing for the Golden Boot, the most scorer, the Golden Boot in Italy in there. Then you come in the Premier League and don't score even 15 goals, because the rate at which Lukaku is scoring goals does not really show you that he can even hit 20 goals this season in the Premier League. In the Premier League, Champions League, and FA Cup combined all together. You get? And the EFL Cup. So that really calls for Lukaku to come out and really make an alarm for himself, because he came out and said he really misses Inter Milan. And he feels like he could go back at Inter Milan if a chance is being provided to him to play that side. And this is the question that was asked to him that annoyed Thomas Tuchel, according to me, that do you miss Lautaro Martinez? He said, yes, I miss Lautaro Martinez. And then they asked him that, would you advise Lautaro Martinez to come at Chelsea? Lukaku said, no way. And he said, I really want to go back to Inter Milan, link back with him and play together with Lautaro Martinez. That's what Lukaku came out and said. So it really shows you that there is a very big unsettlement at Chelsea for Lukaku, and I don't know how these are really going to be managed in there, because the Belgian came out and said, we don't think, like, of course, in there, because asked about the Belgian international comments, this is what Tuchel came out and said, they are not helpful. We don't like it, of course. It brings noise that we don't need, and it's not helpful. We can take the time to try and understand what's going on. If there is something to discuss, it's behind closed doors for sure, the Germany reporter said. Lukaku has scored in his last 2 Premier League games. I've told you that. Aston Villa and Brighton in there, because he had come back from injury and he tested positive for COVID-19. That's why he really got back. And he has netted 7 times in 18 games across all competitions this season. So it shows you that he is really off in there. And when you look at the situation in which Chelsea is, these are not things they're not supposed to be looking at. Because when you look at the Premier League table, Man City has played 21 games and they're having 53 points. Chelsea have played 20 games, a game behind Man City, and they're having 42 points. They are 9 points behind Man City. They win this. They have to win this game against Liverpool to really stay into the title race, because Liverpool is a game behind Chelsea, and if at all Liverpool comes in and wins, they will be ahead of Chelsea by 1 point, and Chelsea would have played a game more than Liverpool. So this game is very crucial, and you don't expect such things to be into the camp. And I think Lukaku has really spoiled the season of Chelsea. It's not going to be any more like this. And by the way, when you look at players like Lukaku, we don't know how much power influence they are gaining into the Chelsea dressing room. But I think he really has a lot of things to address in there, because he is an OB. He has been at Chelsea and he returns. Most expensive player of the team, you get. One of the most experienced in the Chelsea side, you get. After players like Thiago Silva, who else is more experienced than Lukaku? N'Golo Kante. Who else? Aspilicueta, he has been there for a very long time. So I really feel like Tuchel dropping Lukaku really is good for him because he is ready to cut off the wings, the player power. Cut the wings of Lukaku, because this, if at all Lukaku's nonsense is accepted at Chelsea, then that means even another player will come in and do the same thing under the same manager, and things won't go as planned for Chelsea. So trim that wings for Lukaku, throw him under the bus like Mikel Arteta did, and it's really paying out at Chelsea, at Arsenal rather. Then let these other players come in and do the needful, because Chelsea has been winning even when Lukaku was absent. You get? And Lukaku's impact has not really been seen and felt at Chelsea. So I really think throwing him under the bus is something that I really support and really feel like it's the right thing Thomas Tuchel has done. And I think any sane manager has to do this to Lukaku in there. I don't know what you guys think, because everyone has his own thoughts about this. But all in all, it's something you guys need to come out and really address as soon as possible in there, into the comment section below. What do you think about Thomas Tuchel omitting Lukaku out of the Chelsea squad to play Liverpool in there? Do you think he has done the right thing? Yes or no? And your reason should be backed. Then later, go to Lukaku's situation, because Lukaku came out and said he wants to go out of Chelsea, wants to go back to Inter Milan. He misses Inter Milan, yet he's at Chelsea and is the most expensive player Chelsea have overbought after Kepa as a Balaga, who went in for £80 million in there for you. So that's what we had for you here on the Football News Top 10s and Lifestyle Zone. Lukaku omitted out of the Chelsea squad, and he has been thrown under the bus by Thomas Tuchel, a no-nonsense manager. I really like managers like Thomas Tuchel. This is what Sir Alex Ferguson did way back. David Beckham, one of the most impactful players on the pitch for Manchester United, he does shit, threw a shoe onto his eye. I don't. That was a little violent to him, and he sold him to Real Madrid. The same applies to Ruud van Nistelrooy. Go, and the most decisive decision that Sir Alex Ferguson took was that of Roy Keane when he fell out with Ronaldo and Rooney, the new youngsters that Ferguson saw as the future of Manchester United, and Roy Keane tried to really attack them and answer to them at Manchester United. Guess what Sir Alex Ferguson did? He told Roy Keane, you either apologize to these young boys or you quit Manchester United. And guess what? Roy Keane went into unplanned retirement because of the decision that Sir Alex Ferguson took. And to me, I really feel like these are decisions that should be made to the clubs, should be made in clubs like Chelsea, and I really have to support Thomas Tuchel. Yes. And I take Lukaku as a person who has betrayed the manager. He has betrayed the manager. He signed you to the club and you are doing this to him. This is really bad for Lukaku. Lukaku, this wouldn't have been you who is doing this, because this manager brought you to the club and you are trying to turn against him. Not really. You had to really go to his office and talk to him. Maybe Lukaku might be right if at all he really came to the manager in the manager's office and told him, please, what you are playing does not favor me. I really want to score goals, and the system does not favor me in here. So that's what I had for you here, the Rokani Football Podcast. 2nd of June, we are off into this run of the transfer window, and more news are really going to come up through. I really feel like I should do a watch along of Chelsea versus Liverpool. What do you guys think? Go in the comment section below and tell me what you think about it. I'm out for now. See you later, mate.